Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. It's been a while since I've done a knife review, so I thought I would kick things off by reviewing one of my favorite knives in my collection to date. It's the Spyderco Sage 1. Truly an incredible knife, and it has a really cool backstory like all the Sage knives do. Now, I'm going to go into the history of this knife and the Sage series because not everybody is in the know. Not everybody knows about the Sage series or what makes this knife special in its own merits. Alright, the Sage series of Spyderco knives, there's 4 in the series right now. They all pay tribute to a certain knife maker that has contributed a lot in the knife community. This one pays tribute to the custom knife maker Micheal Walker. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory to Micheal Walker because I think it's a cool one. And if you like history, like I do, like a history of knives, then you're going to get a kick out of it. Micheal Walker in the early 70s was a jeweler. He made jewelry, customized jewelry and whatnot. And in 1975 his wife bought him a Gerber knife. Upon inspecting the Gerber knife, he noticed a lot of the similarities between the craftsmanship of fine jewelry and fine knives, which is true. And in the early 80s he started making custom knives. Now Micheal Walker has patented over 20 different locking mechanisms and or things involving knife locks. Him and Ron Lake, which I believe is tied together with CRKT, they went in together and did a collaboration lock known as the LOX system, which CRKT still uses today on a ton of their different models. And LOX, I didn't know it till I looked it up, stands for Lake and Walker Safety Systems. That's what LOX stands for. So very, very interesting. The main contribution Micheal Walker made in the knife community that everybody knows today, he designed and developed the liner lock and the ball detent. Two huge things that are in almost every, ball detent is in every knife other than like lockbacks and ball locks, things like that. So all your frame locks, liner locks, everything like that with all the ball detent is because of Micheal Walker. So huge contribution to the knife community. So just got that out of the way, guys, in case you were interested. Just want to talk about that a little bit. He also used carbon fiber on a lot of his custom knives, so that's where the scale comes from. Because all the Sage series have a different handle material and locking design. But blade shape and shape of the handle are all identical. Alright, I'll start off by looking at that just sexy carbon fiber scales. I mean, this video doesn't give it justice. That twilled pattern. It is just really elegant and quite sexy looking. It's almost hypnotic just looking at it. Just gorgeous in my opinion, just very, very elegant, which makes this very unique and completely different from my other knives in my collection. Now, brought to our attention by Tough Thumbs, this is not 100% carbon fiber on the scales. It is a thin layer of carbon fiber epoxied to G10. So, you're not getting 100% carbon fiber, but it doesn't matter. This is still a very lightweight knife at only 2.3 ounces. So says Spyderco anyway. So it doesn't matter to me, you still have the look of carbon fiber and it's just amazing. But along with that, it also offers a texture. That twilled pattern, probably hear my thumbnail, you can feel each individual ridge of that twilled pattern. So it gives a good amount of traction for what this knife is. It's not a tactical knife. This is a general purpose EDC / gentleman folder. But it does offer a good amount of traction for what it is. It's not smooth, polished carbon fiber like on some other Spyderco's carbon fiber knives. So that is nice. Another cool feature, I think, are the countersunk screws. Nothing is sticking up off of the handle except for the pocket clip. It's just completely smooth, level scale, which I think looks really nice and classy because it makes this knife feel amazing in the hand and great to carry in the pocket. So I really do like that. My next point is I love the wire clips. This is my first Spyderco with the wire pocket clip, and I fell in love with it. I wasn't sure how I'd I wasn't sure if I'd like it at first because I hate deep carry clips in general. This one is amazing. It carries about yay deep, so you have a little bit of the knife sticking out, and no matter how hard you pinch that clip, which is my problem with a lot of deep carry clips, this knife comes out no problem. So it carries deep, but it is not hard to extract or put back onto the pocket. Your pocket doesn't catch on to anything, and you don't have a lot of wobble. The clip will move side to side a little bit just because of the design, but it is very, very strong stainless steel. And you can see those two little prongs, and the two prongs are set into the handle, like you see on this side, set into the handle and fastened and held into place with a torque screw. So that is really, really nice because it's very, very strong. You don't have any slop in there. Just a very, very strong, well-designed clip. And I like that it looks like an anodizing, to be honest. It's a blackened clip. So I really like that. It goes with the carbon fiber. And if I'm wearing my black jeans, you can't even see this. So that's amazing. Love, love, love the clip. Very discreet, very easy, very strong. Just simple. I love it. And it's reversible from left to right hand carry, but set to tip up only, which I like. Flow-through design, which here again I'm a fan of. You can see the standoffs or pillars, two of them, stainless steel. And now you can see the inside of the liners. They're very heavily skeletonized. Let's open that blade up. You can see the milled out portions there, which really lighten this knife up as much as they possibly could, which I really like that. Here again, attention to detail. There you have the Micheal Walker liner lock. Pretty early engagement, I would say. Fairly thick liners, which I like. And you have a deep cutout right here in the handle. Very smooth, deep cutout, so you can disengage that liner lock with no problem. Good beveled edges all the way around. You can see the edges of the carbon fiber. Just all very, very well beveled, which really makes this knife super, super comfortable. Very ergonomic knife. But let's take a look at that blade. You have a 3-inch long CPM S30V full flat ground leaf shape blade. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? So anyway, classic Spyderco leaf shape design, which I'm a huge fan of. American CPM S30V steel. 13mm Spidey hole. Slight, very, very slight thumb ramp right there, some jimping. The jimping is very smooth though. That's one complaint I have with this, very, very smooth jimping. But you have that finger choil, so you can just really lock in and your hand isn't going anywhere. So, really not needed. On the side, Taichung, Taiwan. So yes, this is a Taiwanese-made knife, but this knife really reflects Spyderco's attention to detail and precision. This is a excellent, excellent knife, very, very well crafted. So, the fact that it's made in Taiwan doesn't even matter. Plus, it's a neat little detail that they tell you exactly where in Taiwan. Taichung. Most things you see that are cheaply made just say made in Taiwan. So they give you a specific location, which I think is kind of a neat little detail. Makes it seem more official, which, I mean, it is. American CPM S30V, they ship it to Taiwan to make this knife. So you have that. And it's just an incredibly well-made knife. You really have to get it in your hands to know exactly what I'm talking about, but all the little attention to detail. Also, something about Taiwan-made Spydercos, the Spidey logo is different. You can see it has kind of a 3D pattern. Not pattern, but just a look to it. Whereas on a normal, like an American-made Spidey, laser engraved, so you can see the slight difference. But it's no big deal. I mean, it's not a flaw or anything with the knife. But it's just a neat little attention to detail, kind of like little bitty feature that they give you. Or not a feature, but I don't know how else to explain it. It's just kind of a neat touch. It just makes this knife look a little bit different than other Spydercos. So I like it. Beautiful finish on that S30V blade. This knife came... This is one of the sharpest knives I've ever received out of the box. Here again, if you think this knife is made cheap just because it's in Taiwan, you're wrong. It's one of the sharpest knives I've ever gotten from factory. So, that was incredible. Still holds a very nice edge, too. And the lockup, I mean, I'm grabbing the tip of the blade, I'm really, really wrenching it. None up and down or side to side whatsoever. None. And I have not tweaked the pivots. It came that way. I've never had to adjust this, and it's still this smooth. Which leads me to my next point. This is a very smooth knife. Partially due to the phosphor bronze bushings. Super, super buttery smooth. Like I said, no blade play side to side whatsoever, and you're able to flick it out so easily. Nice positive feedback from that lock too. The detent is excellent, which is what I'd expect most full flat ground folders are, just because the blade is pretty light. By the way, also a pretty thin blade stock, but has a strong tip. As I said, the blade is 3 inches long, but because of this finger choil, you probably have a 2 3/4 inch long cutting edge, which is just fine by me. That meets most state or city knife laws. Because this is a normal EDC blade. This isn't a tactical folder. It could certainly defend your life if the time arises, I guess you could say. Because insanely strong lockup, very, very sharp blade, and incredible ergonomics. Like, no matter if you hold this knife this way, you have the nice choil and smooth edges right here. Normal grip. But I actually like to choke up on this blade. Like, you can see my hand just locks into place. Your hand isn't going anywhere. It's a very, very ergonomic knife. Very, very comfortable to use. And as I said, all the edges are very nicely beveled, and there's nothing protruding from the handle except for the pocket clip, which is all smooth. So it's just a very, very ergonomic and comfortable knife. So I love that. So just an incredible knife, guys. It's super smooth, solid, rock solid lockup. Very, very light. Just a gentleman's folder slash light to moderate EDC blade. I mean, I've used this at work. I've carried it to church. Just a very, very capable knife. Do not exclude this from your want list just because you see made in Taiwan. Very, very well executed knife. In some respects, I think better than a lot of American-made Spydies. That's just my opinion, and I would really like to get my hands on some more Sage models. So, incredible knife. I cannot say more about it. It's just an amazing knife. You really have to get one in your hands to know what I'm talking about. So, these sell for about $120 to $130 depending on where you look. I lucked out and got it off of Amazon.com for $86 shipped. Great deal. So, also one more thing I want to mention before I go. The fit and finish is amazing as well. Blade centering, absolutely spot on, perfect. You have 2 pivot screws as well to adjust side to side, which I really like that. So, even right there, we see the back of you see the spine of the blade meeting with the liners and the scales. You cannot tell a difference, but you cannot individually feel the difference. It feels like one solid piece of metal across there. Amazing fit and finish on this knife. So I would highly, highly recommend this. Just to add to your collection, just to look at. So elegant looking. But you're going to want to EDC it because of how light it feels in your pocket, how comfortable it feels in your pocket, and just how ready this is for most common EDC tasks. So, if you have any questions on this knife, drop them in the comments box, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. Hope everybody has a great rest of their day. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614, peace.